Hi, my name is Olivia. I've landed just in time to catch another segment of Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers with William Craig III. Today, Mr. Craig will be demonstrating another powerful prompt to help us use AI effectively in our job search. I can't wait to see what he's going to share with us. And the best part is, I can watch the replay on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel at Get Up and Get a Job. Okay, fasten your seatbelts. Mr. Craig is about to take off.
All right. Thank you, Olivia, and welcome back to those of you who have been following this series, either in person or by watching the replays. And a warm welcome if this is your first time joining. This is Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers, and I'm William Craig III, a professional career coach. And I have a clear mission for this series to help you move beyond overwhelm and into action. The fact is, people who put out resources with hundreds of AI prompts are well-meaning, but too many prompts can actually be paralyzing. So instead, I've focused on giving you just one powerful, practical prompt each and every day. The goal? To help you run your job search or job campaign with clarity, confidence, and strategy using AI as your assistant, not your replacement. So today, as always, we're building on that momentum. And if you missed any of the segments, feel free to watch the replays on my LinkedIn profile or on my YouTube channel called Get Up and Get a Job. All righty. Well, welcome back. And if you were with us yesterday, you know we had a little bit of a snafu. First of all, we got some comments in here. Let's see what we got going on. Monica. Hey, Monica says, good afternoon, everyone. Patrice, greetings all. And then we got my buddy from New York City, Daniel, saying, good afternoon, learners. Look at you, Daniel. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yesterday, here, let me bring up ChatGPT to the stage. We had a little bit of a snafu because as you can see right here, something went wrong. Yes, and we tried several times, but ChatGPT said, I'm out to lunch. I'm taking a break. So much for AI never taking a break, never going to sleep, huh? Hey, it is what it is. And as we talked about the fact that the technology, while it's relatively new, especially ChatGPT 5, the bottom line is the technology is still growing. And there are going to be times where there are going to be bumps in the road. So what I did was, as you can see, I simply copied our prompt from yesterday and put it back in. I have not retried this, so I'm going to find out if everything is working. I must admit, I did go into ChatGPT to do something else earlier, and it worked just fine. So let's see. Mary Mack is our fictitious job candidate. We've already uploaded her resume into ChatGPT as well. There was a job posting that we uploaded couple of days back. And so now we're picking up where we left off to say, hey, chat, compare the key requirements in the previous job ad to Mary's resume. Highlight 5 gaps and suggest talking points to address each during the interview. And our goal in today's prompt is to help you know how to address those quote unquote negative oriented questions. I have 3 categories of interview questions. The positive interview questions, tell me about a time when you succeeded in a goal. The neutral oriented questions, what would your last manager say about you? Some people would say, oh, that's going to be a negative, William. And some people would say, oh, that's a positive. Well, it's a neutral because it could go either way. And then our negative oriented questions. For example, why have you had so many jobs in such a short period of time? And so we want to get good at answering those questions. I've got some resources that I provide my clients, but here we go. We're going to see what chat does to help us. And let's see what we got going today. Yes, Houston, we have liftoff. All righty, got it. I compared the Even Up AR specialist job against Mary's resume. She is a strong candidate, but there are a few gaps where the job posting's requirements don't line up cleanly with what's on paper. Below are the 5 biggest gaps and suggested interview talking points she can use to bridge them. All right, here we go. Number one. All right, Stripe, payments platform. If you're not familiar with Stripe, it's a payments platform. And the gap here is that the job ad specifically calls for Stripe. Mary's resume lists ERP systems like NetSuite, SAP, QuickBooks, but not Stripe. Talking point. While I haven't used Stripe directly yet, I've worked extensively with other platforms and ERP systems like NetSuite, QuickBooks, and SAP. I'm very comfortable adapting quickly to new systems. I even helped my last team transition to a new accounting software with no disruption. I'm confident I can pick up Stripe quickly and apply the same skills. Now, bravo, fantastic. Very happy to even get a response today. But here's the other part of this. If you know that that is something that you need to know about, you should at least become familiar with it. So while it's great to say, I haven't used Stripe directly yet, and go on to talk about those other things, what would be better to say is, while I haven't used Stripe directly yet, I have spent some time familiarizing myself with it because I knew it was a requirement for this position. Now, I have worked extensively with other payment platforms and ERP systems like NetSuite, et cetera, et cetera. Follow me? So again, I had a situation like this many years ago. I was applying for a position. This was actually after, this was what I call my breakout job. I had been unemployed for a year and a half. And there was a position after I hired my coach, and she walked me through how to right my ship, if you will. She said, look, take advantage of the clues they're giving you and figure out what you need to learn about. So there was a specific platform that I had never even heard of. And first thing I did was I Googled it, of course. Next thing I did was I went to YouTube and I started watching videos about it. Now, what I found out was that this was a platform that was basically was a CRM, a customer relationship management platform. And while I had not used it, I had used other CRMs. In fact, I actually owned a CRM called Goldmine at the time. And so when I went into the interview, one of the first things that I brought up, because I didn't want them to bring it up, and then, there's that whole defensive thing, and you never want to seem defensive in answering questions. But I brought it up and I said, I understand that XYZ is a platform that is a requirement for this position. Now, I've got to tell you, I've never used XYZ. However, what I realized in doing my research is that XYZ is a CRM tool. And I actually own a tool called Goldmine, which is very similar. So I can assure you that my learning curve is going to be minimal at best. And there was no other conversation about it, and we moved on. Now, the reason there was no other conversation about it might be because the entire time that I worked there, we never even used that platform because there was so much customization needed. They were continuously working on it and working on it and working on it. And by the time I actually left there, I was recruited away from there by one of the people who was on my interview panel. But nonetheless, by the time I left there, they still had not put that particular software platform in place. All right. So my little story to your heart, to your ears, so that you can overcome things like this, but definitely do your research. All right. Number 2, Google Sheets. All right. Google Sheets. Gap. The job ad names, Google Sheets and Excel. Mary lists Excel and Google Workspace, but doesn't specifically name Google Sheets. The talking point for Mary: I use Google Sheets all the time for tracking receivables and collaborating with teammates. For example, I've built shared accounts receivable aging reports in Sheets so cross-functional teams could monitor real-time status. On my resume, I listed Google Workspace, but Google Sheets is part of my daily toolkit. Great, great, great comeback, or great thing to mention during the interview. Even better would be to go in and change the resume to specifically call out Google Sheets. All right. As you can see, the next one is dispute resolution. All right, dispute resolution. The gap here. The role emphasizes reviewing and researching customer disputes and billing issues. Mary hints at it: unidentified payments, invoice compliance, but doesn't name it outright. So here's the talking point. I've handled many billing disputes, often involving research into contracts, invoices, and unapplied payments. For example, I resolved $500,000 in unidentified cash at Emerald Staffing by tracing root causes across systems and departments. I'd be glad to bring that dispute resolution experience to even up. And a couple of things here. Uh, Great use of quantifying information, also shows her superpower. But here we go. When she refers to the company, she doesn't say, I'd be glad to bring that dispute resolution experience to your company or to your organization. She says to even up. She names the company. And that's one of those little things that can mean a lot. So you don't want to make it a you versus them. All right. It's not your company or the company. It's either our company. All right. Yes, you can actually be bold enough to say that, our company, or you simply name the company. All righty. Got a couple more of these. So, business to business software as a service, that's what SaaS stands for, / high growth environment. So the job ad prefers candidates with software as a service or high growth startup exposure. Mary's resume reflects corporate and professional services, not software as a service or tech. So here's the talking point. I haven't worked at a software as a service company yet, but I do have experience thriving in fast changing, high volume environments. At Kevlar, for instance, I contacted up to 500 customers per week and kept pace with aggressive AR targets. I believe that same adaptability translates well into a high growth software as a service setting, Great answer. Good job, ChatGPT. All right, month end close. All right, Gap. The posting calls for helping with month end. Mary's resume shows reconciliations and reporting, but doesn't explicitly mention month end close. So here's the talking point. I've regularly assisted with closing activities, reconciliations, journal entries, and reporting, even though my resume doesn't call it month end close. At Springfield Healthcare, I managed all APAR entries to ensure clean financials by the reporting deadline. I'm comfortable supporting the month end process. Love it, love it, love it. These talking points allow Mary to turn gaps into strengths, yes, by showing transferable skills, by sharing specific success stories, and by demonstrating a growth mindset. I can learn, strive quickly. I thrive in high growth environments. Now it says, would you like me to also embed these 5 gap bridging points into a star format answer bank for Mary so she has ready-made responses for common behavioral questions? Oh my goodness. Yes, we got a little time. I love it. I love it. ChatGPT is back on the job and it's got me saying yes. It's got me saying yes. The ultimate salesperson, getting me to say yes all the time. All right, let's see here. Perfect. Here's a star format answer bank for Mary that covers the 5 gap areas we identified. Each one is structured as a ready to go interview response she can tailor to the question. So, number 1, Stripe. Likely questions. Have you used Stripe or similar payment platforms? It's not on her resume. It's part of the requirements. So that's probably what they would ask. Well, at Emerald Staffing, I was responsible for processing and applying $30 million in weekly cash deposits. I needed to maintain accuracy and reduce unapplied payments while transitioning to a new financial system. I quickly learned the new ERP environment, documented workflows, and trained teammates to minimize disruption. We achieved 100% continuity during the transition with no delays in processing. I haven't used Stripe yet, but my proven ability to master new systems, and I would say quickly, including NetSuite and SAP, shows I can pick it up quickly and apply it effectively. Great, great, great job, chat. Google Sheets, the likely question. Tell me about a time when you use spreadsheets to track or analyze AR. Now, in this case, they're being a little sneaky because they don't call out Google Sheets specifically. They just say spreadsheets. They want to know if she's actually used Google Sheets. So here we go. At Kevlar Industries, I needed to track collection progress for 100 to 500 customer accounts a week. We had to keep both the AR team and management updated in real time. So what I did was I built shared Google Sheets dashboards to log customer calls, payment commitments, and collection status. And as a result, this increased visibility across the team. It improved coordination, and it helped us maintain days outstanding within target. Now, while my resume lists Google Workspace, Google Sheets has been one of my daily tools for years. Have I answered your question? Oh my goodness, I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's go on dispute resolution. The question, how do you handle customer billing disputes or payment issues? Well, thank you for the question. At Emerald Staffing, we discovered $500,000 in unidentified cash payments that risked compliance issues, which was definitely a no-no. I was tasked with identifying root causes and resolving disputes with our clients. So what I did, I reviewed contracts, I reconciled invoices, and coordinated with sales and clients to trace transactions meticulously. As a result, I was able to resolve the discrepancies. I preserved our audit readiness and prevented delays in collections. Dispute resolution is something I've practiced consistently, even if it's not labeled that way on my resume. All righty, next up, and we got two more. Business to business, SaaS, high growth environment. So, do you have experience working in a software as a service or a high growth company? Well, at Kevlar, I supported collections for a rapidly expanding customer base, sometimes making 500 calls a week. The challenge was to maintain strong accounts receivable performance despite the high volume and changing priorities, which changed daily sometimes. I actually developed an organized call cadence. I documented each interaction and I flagged high risk accounts for management early on so we wouldn't have surprises. And because of this, we consistently met our AR recovery goals and reduced those aging balances. Now, while I haven't been in a SaaS setting yet, my success in fast-paced growth environment shows I can adapt seamlessly to SaaS operations. Love it, love it, love it. And finally, month-end close. Here's the question. Have you been involved in the month-end close process? And we know she has. She just didn't call it out on her resume, which is now something she would go back and fix. But anyway, well, while working at Springfield Healthcare, I managed AP and AR entries and oversaw a $100,000 school budget. The month end required ensuring each and every transaction, purchase order, and invoice was recorded accurately. So I reconciled our ledgers, I verified the journal entries, and prepared the data for leadership to finalize our reports. And as a result, the month end close was consistently completed on time with clean financial records. I'm comfortable supporting reconciliation, reporting, and closing activities in this role. All righty, with this bank, Mary can take any gap-based interview question and give a confident, structured, and might I say clear and concise response that demonstrates both competence and adaptability. Would you also like me to draft a one-page interview prep sheet for Mary with these 5-star stories summarized as quick reference bullet points she can take into the interview? And I got to give you a thumbs up, chat. So happy to have you back with us. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to allow you all to do that. But let me go ahead and get the prompt for today, the link to today's prompt. And of course, that will give you access to all of the other things that we have done. Come out of that and come over here to our comments and post this in here for you all. Let me know how this is working for you guys, okay? So, alrighty, there you have it. Today's prompt, the chat response. Chat is back. Ho, ho. All right, doing my happy dance. Really, look, I want you all to know that, again, I really appreciate you reaching out to me to let me know how much this series has meant to you. And some of you have told me how you've been using these prompts. And so, again, that's what I'm here for. And at the same time, thank you for your support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Get Up and Get a Job. Do you know we've had over 700 views so far? Huh? Oh, my goodness. That is so exciting to me. Yes, they reached out to me to let me know that I've got over 700 views. So continue to spread the word, if you would, please. Let somebody know who's unemployed, underemployed, or just unhappily employed that we go live every day at 12 noon. And here we go. If they can't make it, you can always go to the YouTube channel, Get Up, Get a Job, subscribe, and you'll be notified as well. You'll be able to watch the replays there. Or, of course, you can always watch them on my LinkedIn profile. All righty. Let's see here. We got some comments. Congratulate. Hey, thank you. It's because of you, Patrice, you and Daniel and Monica and Patrice and all the other folks that I can't name right now. Excuse me. Who have shared with me that they have been with me on this journey. Excuse me, I'm getting over a little cold. All righty. Daniel says, thank you, sir. Oh, you are most welcome. Thank you, sir. Well, listen, that's going to do it for me today. I'm going to get out of here. Look, you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe in all you do. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow to close out the week with another edition of Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers. God bless everybody.
Wow, that was fantastic. I haven't been this excited to learn about something since I left basketball. Anyway, Mr. Craig did another great job of sharing an AI prompt that anyone can use in their job search. Be sure to join him every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel called Get Up and Get a Job. You can watch the replays there as well. And while you're at it, share this information with someone you know who wants or needs a new job. I've got to run. My team needs me. But keep up the great work, Mr. Craig. You're providing a great service for the community. I'm going to tell all of my players about daily AI prompts for job seekers with William Craig III.